Welcome back everybody to another episode of the GC Informer. I am Snowy, otherwise known as Count Fracula, bringing you some belated news. There wasn't any at the weekend because reasons, but there's some now! A game got launched on Steam the other day. Not news in and of itself, they come a dime a dozen, and you know, they're all, well, quite a lot of them are a bit shit. This one though is particularly shit. It is called Abstractism, and it is a game that has since been removed from Steam, but we'll get onto that in a second. And it turns out that this game is secretly both a piece of malware and a bit of cryptocurrency mining stuff, but sort of put behind the veil of a sort of very simple platformer. The game managed to get away with this by sort of disguising the piece of malware as an executable file, a sort of Steam-based executable file, and it also put another file in. They called it Abstractism Launcher, and what that actually does is launches a bit of software that runs in the background, so unless you're actually going to look into it, you're not going to notice necessarily, and that basically does cryptocurrency mining for whoever made this game. And yeah, that's not fun, because one, it can put a lot of extra load on your computer, because, you know, it's trying to mine some cryptocurrency, so you'd probably notice a bit of a performance drop off. Two, it can put a lot of stress on your house's electricity bill, because cryptocurrency mining is very electricity intensive. It takes a lot of power to mine cryptocurrency. And three, it can put a lot of strain on your bandwidth and the cloud servers, all kinds of stuff like that. So all in all, bit of a piece of shit, the person who released this game, and it took a good few days for Valve to actually notice this, and since they have noticed it, they've removed the game and issued the following statement. To Kotaku, Valve said this, that Abstractism has been removed from Steam and the developer banned for distributing unauthorized code and trolling, etc. Loads of their different sort of reasons for banning someone from Steam have just applied to that, and this game is no longer on Steam, thank God for that. And I feel sorry for anyone who actually spent money on something that is making a lot more money for someone else, and actually putting malware on their computer. So yeah, do you remember when Steam said that Steam Direct, or Valve said that Steam Direct was going to be the new sort of benchmark, and it's going to really clean Steam up, and it's going to be a lot better for it? Yeah, it's not gone well, has it? Yeah. Oh well, not going to change because it's Valve, so whee! Let's move on. The Switch. We're moving on to the Switch because we have some more fun news about the Switch. We'll start with the mundane business side of things, in that the Switch has now sold 20 million units total throughout its year and a bit lifespan. I think it's in its 5th quarter at the moment, it's just finished, and that's quite a good achievement. It's on par with the PS4 at this sort of time in its life cycle. However, the PS4 had gone through 2 sort of Christmas period sales at that point, whereas the Switch has only gone through 1. So that's actually looking a little bit better for them in terms of their sales predictions in the future. I mean, the PS4 has been out for about 4 to 5 years roughly at this point, and it's sold 80 million units, and that would put, I'm gonna make a prediction. I'm going to make a prediction that the Switch, at that similar point in its life cycle that the PS4 is currently at, will have sold around between 85 and 90 million units, I think. I think the Switch is a really good platform, it's doing really well. Seeing a slight drop off in sales compared to this time last year, but that is to be expected. You know, the sort of launch window is it's a very big time for sales, and they had a lot of good games coming out this quarter last year, including Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and ARMS, so a lot of big first-party titles had come out, which explains the slight sort of difference in sales, which is, you know, it's perfectly normal. Anyway, what we do know though, that while hardware sales are slightly down compared to this time last year, software sales, game sales, are dramatically increased. I believe it was 400% up compared to this time last year. And while the Switch is receiving quite a bit of shovelware in terms of like specifically indie titles on its store, because they're a bit, they're not quite as strict as we were thinking they were going to be when it comes to getting titles onto there, but it's doing alright so far. It's fairly easy to filter out the chaff, and yeah, so that's one reason to explain it. But yeah, that's a really fun thing just to see, like, game sales on the Switch are doing really well, and that's probably gonna make more sort of higher profile devs think that the Switch is a very viable platform for them. The other bit of Nintendo news is gonna be Nintendo Labo, and Nintendo Labo, if you don't know what that is somehow, it's basically making things in cardboard that can then be used to interact with a game. They've had 2 kits out so far. They've had the Variety Kit and the Robot Kit, and those have just sort of done their own things. And there's now going to be a new one. They've announced the 3rd kit, and I believe it's taking a bit of inspiration from a news story that I reported on about a month or 2 ago, where they had announced compatibility between Nintendo Labo things and Mario Kart, because this kit is going to be a load of vehicle-based things. It's priced at the same sort of cost as the Variety Kit, so £60 or I guess $70 or $80, which a lot of people complain about the price of Nintendo Labo. I do see why they priced it at that, because it's not just the cardboard you're paying for, because that tends to be the sort of typical excuse thrown out, oh, you're just paying for cardboard. But there is actually a game involved in it. There is like a cartridge with some game on it. You're not just paying for the cardboard. And in this instance, it seems to be a sort of racing game. Well, some sort of vehicle-based game. And you use the controllers. You can set up a, I believe it's a steering wheel and a joystick, and maybe something else unless I've forgotten it. And you can use those kinds of things to interact with the vehicles in this game. I am sure that will be transferable to other things such as Mario Kart. And you can actually have more than one person playing if you so please. And I think that's a really fun little thing that they've come up with. I'm really looking forward to seeing what we can actually do with that. It's coming out in September, so not far away at all. That brings us to the end of this episode of the GC Informer, and I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, consider liking, subscribing and sharing this channel, whatever you fancy anyway. Our social links are down in the description with a link to our Discord where you can join in some chat with members of our community. Stay tuned though to GameCast for news, reviews, Let's Plays, podcasts, lots of great content coming your way, and I will see you soon for something else. Maybe more news, maybe a different series. I do a lot of different things on here. Bye bye.